Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Real Confessions Podcast. I am your host, Aidaozuna. If you're returning, you are a real one. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Aida. I'm 21 years old. I'm a mom. I'm an entrepreneur. I do YouTube as well. On this podcast, we talk a little bit about everything. Okay, we talk about entrepreneurship, motherhood, self-care, self-love, my journey, and we also have interviews coming up as well. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're new and if you're returning, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button so you do know when our episodes do go up. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave me a rating. All right. So I just want to say thank you for showing love. We recently hit 7,000, almost at 7,000 downloads, which is freaking crazy to me because I started at 0 downloads and this is our 10th episode. And it's crazy because we started at 0 episodes. So I just want to say thank you. This is just a mini intro. It's getting a little long, so let me wrap it up. But yeah, this is another interview. Make sure you go ahead and follow us on Instagram as well at the Real Confessions Podcast. I do have a surprise coming soon. So yeah, this is just me showing love. Thank you. Now let's go ahead and get into the episode. You're real boy. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Real Confessions Podcast. I am your host, Aidaozuna. So in today's podcast episode is actually a very special episode. I literally say that with like every episode, but it's actually another interview with another entrepreneur. So here we have Ellie. Ellie is 20 years old and she was born in Puerto Rico, but came to the US when she was 10. From a young age, she always loved makeup, but never saw it as a way to make money. Then about a year ago and a half, she was in a tragic accident and totally hit rock bottom, which really helped to redirect her mind into pushing to pursue the things she truly loved. So here we have Ellie. Ellie, thank you so much. I love your brand. So thank you for accepting this offer. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be on this podcast with you.
I know you're busy too, so I appreciate it. So I like to tell my audience how we connected and like know each other, just so like they don't know I'm just bringing people. So do you want to explain or I could explain?
I mean, shoot, I could start off. I don't know if you know this, but when I first was starting my brand, like in the beginning of last year, I always tell people that ask me, what is one of the main things when you are starting your brand? And the number one thing you need to do is research. You need to know who your target audience is gonna be, and you need to know, like, you need to build a business plan. So you have to do lots of research. And one of the main places I did my research on was YouTube, and then I ran across yours. And you just gave so much valuable information. Like, I loved your channel. I instantly subscribed and I just like binge watched all your videos. And that's how I came across you. And then I started following you on Instagram or whatever. And yeah, that's that.
I remember you reached out. You were like, hey, I just want to say thank you for the value and stuff like that. And then you dropped a quick gem too. You're like, hey, are you on TikTok? Like automatically. And I was like, oh,
yes.
You showed me like, you like put me on TikTok. So let's start by telling everyone listening a bit about how you got started with your journey of entrepreneurship and like being a business owner and everything.
Definitely. So like you mentioned in the intro, from a young age, I've always been into makeup. I actually was going to school for business because I also knew that I always wanted to have my own business. I'm the type of person that I'm not good with taking orders from people.
Yes.
And I could I could keep a job if I really wanted to, but like not for long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I just bounced around from job to job trying to figure out, what it was that was going to make me happy. And eventually, like, I just was doing things just to try to make fast money. And then, like you said, I got into an accident about a year and a half ago. And it was basically like a road. I was with my ex at the time. I was sleeping in the car, and this road rager, like, he had cut him off accidentally. And then next thing you know, the both of them are arguing back and forth. And then the guy pulls out a gun and starts shooting at the car, and I get hit. So yeah, it was pretty wild. It was pretty crazy. You know, at that moment, I literally, like, no joke, just felt like I was gonna die, and I just got rushed to the hospital. And you know, I had to learn how to live life differently. I lived in a rehab center for about a month, and everything changed. Like, my life totally changed. I ended up moving back to Florida with my parents because I was living up north with my sister, and that just really wasn't working out because, like, my ex literally wouldn't stop stalking me. So I came here back with my parents, and I started doing like other like courses. Like, I was doing like a health course at one point, like to become a health coach. But then my mom was like, "Why are you doing that? That's not what you really like. You know what you really like, and that's makeup. So like, what are you doing?" And like that like really struck something. And then
She put
I
you
was like,
in your place.
exactly, like, she's right. Like, what am I doing? I just never really saw like, wow, like I could really have my own brand. Like, there's so many big brands out there, like, you know, like it could be kind of intimidating. But then I started going on YouTube and I started seeing other people do it. So I'm like, okay, like if others can do it, I can most definitely do this. And then yeah, I started doing my research, and that's where everything got started.
That's crazy. Like that whole, and it's crazy because if I were to just look at you, I would, you know, that's the thing. Like people don't really know what really goes on behind the scenes and like people's stories.
Right.
Everybody has a story. So
Everyone.
how did you manage to like still have faith despite everything that was going on?
Man, like, that's where I got to give all the credit to God right there, to be honest with you, because if it wasn't for God, I would not be here today. Um, you know, I remember that car ride where I felt like I was going to die. I literally asked God, like, God, please, I'm not ready to go. Like, please don't let me go. And he didn't. I'm still here. And every morning when I wake up, I just pray and I ask God to give me strength, give me wisdom, you know, to get me through the day, to be able to function and do everything I have to do. And at one point, you know, of course, I was really depressed because everything totally changed for me. I lost the ability to walk.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, so it was not easy. I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say it was. It was not at all. But I've definitely came a long way, you know, from being depressed in a bed, crying myself to sleep every single day. Like, things have changed. God has given me strength, and you know, I'm getting stronger every day. And that, yeah, like I said, I just gotta give God the credit for that.
Nah, you say you're getting stronger. You are strong. Like, like girl,
Thank
like
you.
that's really a lot. But yeah, we're glad you're here and like you're sharing your story. That's why I wanted to have you on the podcast because
Yeah.
oftentimes like we all go through stuff, but oftentimes we're not grateful like for where we're at right now. So maybe your story can inspire someone listening. So
Definitely.
who would you say supported you and helped you out most throughout the time? Like throughout everything.
I would say, like, you know, my family. That's where, like, you know, I had a big eye opener because I was hanging out with a lot of people. I had, quote unquote, a lot of friends. And who was there at the hospital with me?
Yep.
My family. Oh, were my friends there? No. You know, I have like one good friend, but really that's about it. And you know, when you start really focusing on yourself, or like when something real like happens in your life, you really start to open your eyes and see who's really there for you. And what's more, like you said, being grateful and appreciative, because you start to see like what's more important in life. And you know, my family has definitely been that backbone support for me throughout this whole process, for sure.
I could definitely relate to that too. Like when real stuff happens, like personally me, when I found out I was pregnant, who was there? Not a lot of people were there.
Exactly. Crickets, crickets.
Right. So it's like, yeah. So I feel like, you know, it does suck and it hurts like, dang, but at the same time, like that's just a lesson. Like
It's
not
a
everybody,
blessing.
not everybody there is like, not like, anyway. Like that's just, I don't know. I'm just like, when it comes to like friends and stuff, I'm very selective about who I choose now.
You gotta be.
Just certain people, like, yeah, you just gotta
Yeah.
be selective. So I know your supporters go crazy on TikTok. So what gave you the courage to share your story, and like how did it feel to open up about it?
Um, you know, every time somebody asks me what should I do to like put myself out there, I'm always like, just be yourself, just share who you are. Um, Basically, like something just told me, and I think it was God too, like to just share my story, because my story is a testimony, and like
Mm,
you said, it can inspire other people to do what they were called to do and inspire others, you know, like you never know, like you said, who what goes on behind closed doors.
Everybody's
So
battling with something, like even,
everyone has their
yeah,
battles,
even
and
if it's
it's
not
great.
big, but yeah.
For sure. And you would be surprised at how many people can actually relate to you,
Mm,
and how many people you can help just by sharing your story. So I didn't share my story just so I could like get business or whatever, but because I saw it as a way that it could help other people too that could be
mm-hmm.
going through a similar situation or something hard, you know?
And
So
I feel like, I'm sorry, keep
no,
going.
no, you're good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I feel like that story and like just you being yourself is what really like sets your brand apart from like a lot of brands, especially on TikTok. So I feel like, yeah, and like something that I love about like your TikTok and stuff is that you always show love to your customers. Like you do like I don't know too much about TikTok, but I know you do like the duets with
Yeah.
like, yeah, when like they unopen, when like unboxing videos and stuff like that. I just love
Mhm.
like the connection you have with your customers.
Yeah, definitely. And I love it too, because it's like it really makes me happy to see that other people like are enjoying like the hard work that I'm putting in, you know, to bring these products to life. So I love when people make videos, and I love when they leave me comments, because like it's really fulfilling, you know?
Mm. So I know TikTok is like an amazing platform, but and like positive to share your story. But have you ever dealt with like the negative side, like the hate comments, and people
Oh,
always have opinions?
yes. I haven't gotten like a crazy amount of hate comments, but you know, somebody here and there is always has something to say. Like I remember, I don't remember like many of them, but I remember one of them was like a recent one. Sometimes my dad will like help me pack, and
Yeah, I
one
love
of my goals
that.
is to retire him.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes he'll stay home instead of doing Uber, and he'll help me pack, and he enjoys that. I mean, he would rather stay home with me and help me rather than go out and wake up early to go and drive Uber, you know?
Mm.
So, I pay him way more than he makes with Uber just to, you know, do that with me. And I remember somebody was like, he's too old. Like, why are you putting him to work? Like, girl, you don't know.
Girl,
Like,
bye.
he is strong. He is strong. He is
Right.
74, but my dad is strong. Like, my dad carries me up and down the steps daily. So, what are
Okay.
you talking about?
Yeah,
You know?
people. Mm-mm. I feel like
But I
people.
don't even be responding.
Yeah. So how do you deal with like the hate comments? You just block them, like.
I don't even block them, you know, like I let them watch. I let them keep on watching, because it's like, what business do you have? Oh,
Right.
you know, and I just like them. Sometimes I like them, but I never really respond.
Mm. See, like,
Oh, and I remember this other one now, because this was like everybody started going ham on this person. They were like, it was a video that went really viral, and I had like press on nails, and you know, press on nails are like $15-$20.
yeah.
And I was telling my story like about what my goal is to retire my dad and whatnot. And they're like, oh, you're trying to retire your dad, but you have $100 nails on.
What?
Like, come on. First of all, I only use press on nails because it's a part of presentation. I'm not going to sit here and have like crusty nails trying to show off products. Like,
Right.
no, that's not
Yes.
cute. I'm sorry.
I literally put like my press on nails just to like take a lot of
Literally,
pictures.
literally.
Even if they pop off a few, hours
Exactly.
later.
Exactly. Just for the video, just for the picture, and that's it. But everything ties hand in hand. And I remember another comment. They were like, "Oh, everybody wants to do lashes and lip gloss now."
That's a big one. That's a big one. Everybody
Yeah, and
lashes.
I've gotten a couple of those, and I responded like with a video. The response video actually went viral too. And I was like, it's not just a lash and I didn't say this, but it's not just a lash and lip gloss business. First of all, you don't know what hard work goes behind that. And again, what business do you have? Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. That's what I thought.
Most of the time, like the people talking, they don't own businesses. They just sit there and watch and compare. And oh my god, and oh
Exactly.
my god. So I feel like, yeah, like doing YouTube. I definitely dealt with a lot of hate comments, but I mean,
I can imagine.
at first they do get to me, but then I'm like, you know what? Like at the end of the day, it'll be like fake pages, people that
Yeah, like
don't
no
have right,
pictures, like it's
right.
just, Twitter fingers, people behind the screen.
Just gotta ignore them. So in the
Yeah.
beginning, despite everything that happened, what was like the challenges you had mentally, like when starting your business, and how did you get through them?
Well, definitely at first, the type of person I am, like, I'm not proud of this, but I'm very impatient.
Mm,
And I get frustrated when I don't see results right away. So that's why, apart from my recovery, and it has been a challenge for me because in every aspect, I want things now. So when I didn't start seeing the sales like the first 2 months coming in, I got frustrated at some points. But all I did was just get on my knees and pray and ask God. And I remember one night, um, I was upset, and this is like when I first started like blowing up on TikTok or whatever. But like, I didn't have a video blow up yet. But I remember I had just posted a video, and and I prayed to God. I'm like, God, please, like, just do this for me. Just like, I need like sales, like just come through for me. And boom, next day I wake up and like my video has like 200K views, and I literally sold out on everything, like shipped out to every
that's
state.
crazy.
Yes, bro, like it was crazy. It was crazy. And I feel like that was a turning point in my business.
Mm. So with everyone sharing their businesses like on social media, did you ever find yourself comparing yourself like to others?
Yeah, I still do sometimes, when somebody has like more followers than me.
Mm.
Um I do compare myself sometimes, but I see it as motivation, like, okay, what can I do different? What can I do better?
Yeah.
And I don't really see it as competition anymore, because everybody has their own lane.
Yeah. And like their
So
own customers.
exactly.
So yeah, I was about to add, that was my next question. Like how did you shift your mind and to just focus on you?
Yeah, so not only that, like not only seeing it in from a different perspective, and um also just sharing like tips and stuff for other people, just helping other people out,
Mm.
help me out, because when you bless others,
It
God
comes
blesses
back.
you.
Yeah,
It
it
comes
comes
back
back.
to you. So I never lack nothing. I'm getting sales consistently every day. So, that's a blessing. That's a blessing right there. And I don't see other businesses as competition. In fact, I'm happy that other people are like doing this because it's freedom. It's freedom from having to be under somebody, or, nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, but I would personally much rather stay at home and work
Right.
from home and, work on my own time. So,
I feel like I can relate to you how like I couldn't really keep a 9 to 5. I would definitely jump from job to job. So I worked at a
yeah,
casino, I worked at Dunkin' Donuts, Chipotle, like so many jobs. But I'm like, you know what?
exactly.
Like I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I know I'm not working for these people. Not that there's
That's how you
anything wrong,
know.
but I don't know. It's just, I mean, not everybody. That's the thing. Not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur, and not everybody's
Mm-hmm.
meant to work a 9 to 5. So it just depends on
Exactly.
you. So what is
Exactly.
something that you feel like no one talks about with entrepreneurship that most people should be more open and transparent about?
I feel like a lot of things, a lot of people only show the good side of the business, including myself. I feel like I don't share enough like about the struggles that I have on a daily basis.
Mm.
Um, but it's not easy to run a business. It's not. It's a lot of responsibility. And I'm lucky enough that I have a mom that's she's not an accountant. She's a business manager, so she handles
Mm.
like my books. Like I don't have to worry about like my
Wow.
taxes
Yeah.
and my books because bro, like that is so important. And a lot of people when they're starting out, they don't even like pay attention to that part because God knows if it was up to me, like I would be messed up right now because I'm not good at organizing paperwork and none of that. But my mom is great at that, and I'm blessed enough to have somebody that will do that for me.
So are you the first entrepreneur in your family?
Yes. Um Actually, I learned a lot from my sister. Like I told you when I moved here when I was 10, my dad was still working in Puerto Rico under a contract,
Mm.
but we were living with my sister, and my sister's just like me. We have the same personality, and like, she's just a go-getter, and she worked for some attorneys, but really she worked like for herself. Uh as a paralegal and like just doing other stuff. So I feel like I got a lot from her. But
I
like
feel
officially, I would say me.
yeah, you're like the first business owner. So how did your family react to like you starting your business and stuff? Were they supportive or like
Yeah, like my parents and my family has always been supportive of anything I've wanted to do when I wanted to go to school and any job that I wanted, they were always supportive of me. And including this too. So at first, like my dad even was like, now he's like, I didn't think like you would like blow up and like be where you are today. Like, they're shocked too. Shoot,
mm.
I didn't even think that I would be where I am today, but you got to take a risk because you never know. You never know where you're going to be at. And if you don't do it now, then it's never going to happen.
And then you grew so fast too. So was it hard adjusting to the growth?
Yeah, like I remember one time I went like so viral. Like I had a video, like this was recently too. This was probably like a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months. I had a video that got like 6 million views,
Oh wow.
and I sold out of so many things, and I actually had made a mistake in one of my lash inventories, so that messed me up, and I had to like contact my vendor, and I'm like, yo, like I need lashes now. Now. And like he and my vendors are great. Like they ship super quickly. I got my lashes in 2 days, but I didn't like that I had to keep my customers like waiting a little bit longer.
Mm.
But kept it under control and everything was good at the end of the day.
And how about like adjusting mentally? Like you didn't have
Mhm.
any mindset shifts or like any problems adjusting, like, oh my God, like I'm moving too fast.
No, like I was actually really happy that things are picking up. My mom is more like that. Like she's more like gets overwhelmed, but me, I work good under pressure. Like it doesn't bother me at all personally.
And I also saw that you were mentioned on Shopify. Congratulations. So how did that happen and how did you feel?
Honestly, I did not see that coming at all. I guess they found my TikTok and they looked at my story and they were inspired by it or whatever.
Mm.
And then one day I'm just like on Instagram and I see like Shopify mention me. I'm like, hold up, like, nah. I didn't even believe it myself. But then I literally cried because it's like, wow, like that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the businesses like that were started in 2020, like they chose mine, and I was just so honored and grateful. And even my mom cried too, so it was a blessing.
Yes, I saw that. I'm like, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're like, you're like, is this even real? Is this a dream?
exactly. Like, is this a fake page or something? But yeah,
So you would
it was
recommend
fake.
like TikTok for like business owners
Oh my gosh,
over Instagram?
it's a must. The only reason like my business got this big so fast is because of TikTok. Because TikTok, you can get so much more exposure. Like if a video goes viral, boom, like you're gonna grow exponentially from there. If you keep posting like good quality content,
So
you
how
know,
often would you say to post on TikTok?
I would say just like I said, post good quality content, follow trends, use trending sounds. Don't ask people to purchase from you because like that's a turn off.
Mm.
Just like be yourself and show your products. And don't be afraid to like put your face on camera, and just don't be afraid to like share your story and share who you are with your audience. Like people like authenticity.
Mm.
So it's not hard. It's not hard. Once you get the hang of it and you get the ball rolling, it becomes easier and easier. I'm still learning myself, but
Because
it's
yeah,
gotten a lot
TikTok is
easier.
definitely like hard work, and I'm like, dang, this is hard. It's definitely
Yeah,
hard. I feel like it's harder than Instagram because
it
Instagram is just you
is.
post and go.
Yeah, it is, but it's definitely worth it. And once you learn it, how to do it, and you get the hang of it, it becomes a lot more simple. And one of the things that I like to do is like when I think of an idea of a video or something that I want to post, I just write that idea down and then I make
Mm.
the video whenever I have the time, because sometimes I'll think of something and then I'll forget, and then
Yeah.
it's like mm.
So
So
how do you find like your niche, or like you don't think you should have a niche on TikTok?
yeah, I think, see, like I don't really have one. I just share like, like I said, things that are trending, or like use trending sounds just to share my products, show them off, and just being me basically.
So what would you say are three lessons that maybe entrepreneurship or just life has taught you that maybe my audience could benefit from?
Number one, I would say always be grateful no matter what. No matter if you're down or if you're up, just always be grateful for what you have, because somebody always has it worse than you. Somebody always has it worse. So just be grateful for what God got you, and when you're grateful, you always get more blessings. So I would say that's number one. Um, Number two, be disciplined. If you want to accomplish anything in life, you need to have discipline.
Mm.
And you need to form healthy habits, because without that, you're not going to succeed. I'm sorry. I've tried, I've tried before, and it doesn't work out. So, discipline for sure. Number three, just having faith. What is in your brain is what will be your reality most of the time, as long as you take action. If your mentality is negative, then that's going to drag you down. So always be positive, always have faith in your plan, in your future, in God, that things are going to work out for the better.
And
So,
so with remaining disciplined, because that's something I'm currently kind of struggling with. So remaining
mhm.
disciplined, what are some tips you feel like, or what are some things that help you remain disciplined?
So one of the main things is going to bed on time, which I
Mm.
struggle with, but
I definitely
waking
struggle.
up, waking up on time. I still wake up on time no matter what. Um, I'm up at like 7:30 in the morning, and that's when I get my day started. When you get your day started early, like you have so much more time. It seems like your day's longer, because days, like time just flies by. And it's like when you wake up early, you can make so much more of your day. I wake up early and I get my workout in, I eat breakfast. So working out in the morning and just helps you have a clear mind as well, and helps you with your energy level. So eating good, eating healthy is also a good one. Healthy body, healthy mind. So yeah, and also a great one. I literally cannot live without this one. I live by my planner. I have to have my planner.
I love planners.
And if I don't, like, I'll be lost throughout the day, because before I go to bed, I write down all my tasks that I have to do the next day, and then I just number them by importance, one by one. One usually being the hardest, and so on. And I knock out my harder tasks first, and then like the easier stuff, I do it, or my mom helps me. Whatever, if you have somebody to help you, whatever you have to absolutely do, you do it. And then whatever you don't have to absolutely do, like for example, packing orders, I let my mom do that because she helps me. So yeah.
Are you looking to like outsource anytime soon because your business is growing?
Outsource, like as in what?
Hiring somebody else to help you. Yeah.
um i I will eventually, but like I'm huge on money saving, so right now, like I'm cheap. So
You
right
got your
now,
parents too.
exactly. So I don't need to hire nobody at the moment, and if anything, I'm gonna hire my dad, which needs it. So I think I'm good at the moment. Maybe in a few months, like when it grows even more, whenever it becomes necessary. But at this point, I think we're fine.
So were there any times that you felt like well, you said, yeah, you felt discouraged, like any times where you felt guilty for not posting as much as you should, or posting, on social media?
Yeah, that happens to me like on Instagram lately. Sometimes like, I don't want to post just anything on Instagram.
Quality
I want
content.
to post quality content because it's quality over quantity for me. And, even though it is important to post every single day, maybe a few times a day, I still want to make sure like my pictures are on point. So sometimes I'll get frustrated like when the lighting is not in my favor and I can't get my pictures in or whatever. But it's cool. Like usually it's not more than 2 or 3 days at the most that I don't post.
I do have here 3 rapid fire questions, real talks with Aida. So number 1, 3 ways you stay motivated.
Waking up early, writing in my planner all my tasks, and eating healthy.
Number 2, what is the best decision you ever made?
Starting my business.
Number 3, where do you see yourself and your brand 10 to 20 years from now?
I see us on the shelves of Sephora or Ulta for sure.
Period.
Period.
And how do you balance like business and personal life? Or how do you find that balance?
Honestly, I don't have a personal life, if I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just if you want to be successful, like it's not easy to have a personal life and run a business at the same time. There's gonna be sacrifices you're gonna have to make, and that's just it. That's just life. If you want to get somewhere, you got to make sacrifices. And I don't have a personal life. I don't go out. I don't really talk to people. I'm a loner. So
Girl, same. This is why I started a podcast. Where I can
yeah.
it helps me like connect with others that are feeling the same way. Because it does
Yeah,
get lonely, like the journey
it
of
does.
entrepreneurship, especially if you don't
Mhm.
have other entrepreneurs around you. That's why
Mhm.
I wanted you on the podcast too, so you could give like, your perspective. So yeah,
Yeah.
let my audience know where they could go ahead and follow you and shop.
Yeah, guys. So my Instagram is at Queen Cosmetics Store, and then our TikTok is Queen Cosmetics Official. So you can find us there.
And let them know what you offer as well.
Well, we just started selling palettes, eyeshadow palettes. We offer a variety of faux make lashes, and our main and best-selling products are our glosses. So,
Okay,
yeah.
sounds good. Thank you for sharing your story and for coming on the podcast. I know your story is definitely going to inspire somebody. So thank you for sharing. Continue going hard for your brand. Like I really do look up to you and your brand. So thank you again.
I look up to you too, girl. Thank you for having me on here. It was my pleasure.
So that is the end of this interview. Y'all, I hope you're inspired. I hope you are motivated to keep pushing, okay? You never know people's story, and that story, I don't know about y'all, but that inspired me. All right? Sometimes I find myself complaining about what it is that I don't got, what it is that I should be doing. But at the end of the day, that story should be an example for you to learn how to be grateful, not only be grateful, but also be resilient. Life, I always say this, life is not going to be easy, you know? Situations are going to come your way. Look at her, she got shot. That is crazy. And, you know, it's amazing that she's still here. But her testimony should be a testimony to inspire and motivate you to keep going. You don't necessarily have to start a business. You don't necessarily, whatever it is that you're doing, take that and apply it to your life. All right? Learn to be grateful. Learn to be, you know, appreciative of what it is that you do have, because tomorrow is not promised. So that motivated me, y'all. So yeah, that is the end of this episode. I hope you guys feel motivated and inspired. I hope this was of value to you. If you did receive any value from this episode, go ahead and take this, screenshot this episode, go ahead and put it on your Instagram story and tag at The Real Confessions Podcast. You can also go ahead and tag Queen Cosmetics and let her know that her story inspired you to just do better and be better and just keep going 10 times harder. So yeah, that is the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. All my worldwide listeners, it's crazy. We have listeners from all over the world. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next episode. Aida out.